And the one coming up to 1:15. Now, England's women get their World Cup campaign underway against France later. The Lionesses haven't beaten France since 1974. They'll be hoping to reach the last 8 of a World Cup for the first time in Canada. Let's get a guide now to women's football from the Reading Ladies General Manager, Jon Horton. Afternoon, Jon.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I guess you're going to be gripped to this, are you?
I shall be watching tonight. Already booked my space on the sofa at home after work, so my boys have been told that's my space, so I'll be sat down watching, hoping to see Fran Kirby.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about her in a minute, but give us a bit of an indication as to how good a side France are, because if England haven't beaten them since 1974, that suggests they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're a top side, currently ranked 3rd in the world, behind favourites for the World Cup, Germany, who looked very impressive the other night, and obviously USA. So they will be a tough challenge for us. Few, really good players in there, especially Eugenie Le Sommer. She's one to look out for. She's very quick, very skillful, and what a finisher she is. So she will be dangerous tonight, and hopefully. I haven't seen any of the team sheets yet, so we don't know who's playing, but hopefully the girls can deal with it and maybe nick a goal on the counter-attack would be the hope.
So France are right up there in the top 3 as far as the teams are concerned in terms of world rankings. Did you say the USA also up there as well? Yeah.
USA is sat 2nd in the FIFA rankings at the moment. They've always been very, very strong, very physical. That's when you look at the women's game in America, it's massive. Their games they're getting sort of 15 to 20,000 to, and that's at university level as well.
So is it bigger than the men's game in America?
I would say it's a little bit behind the men's game, but it's certainly not as far behind the men's game as we are in the UK here. But I met with somebody from one of the universities not so long ago because he was looking at scholarship opportunities, and the stadia they have is phenomenal, the facilities they have is phenomenal, but their focus is very much on the physical side of the game, and that shows when they play. They're definitely more physical than technically able would be my opinion.
So who's number 1 in the world at the moment as far as women are concerned?
Guess.
Germany?
They seem to be, yes, they seem to be number 1. A lot of things, they are unbelievable. I don't know whether you saw them the other night, putting 10 past the Ivory Coast.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I know Ivory Coast aren't the strongest. I mean, they're still not actually affiliated with their own FA. So, but they showed how good they really are. And as usual with German teams, they get themselves really well prepared for a tournament. They seem to turn it on at a tournament every time. So.
And how does the women's game differ to the men's game? I mean, obvious in terms of sex, I know, but does it differ are there certain characteristics of the women's game?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, I've been involved now with the women here at Reading for about 18 months on the goalkeeping side, and also for our previous manager, Jane Ludlow, with the Wales national team as well. And for me, when I first got involved in the game, it was very much like a lot of people where it's women's football, but the more I've got into it, it's unbelievable. The technical ability of some of these players is really outstanding. For example, Fran trains with the boys here full time at the club, so she's competing with the under-18s boys here, which is fantastic for her. Technically, they look at her and say she's outstanding. Where she can't, cope physically in the speed of the game, that's the big difference. And if any of your listeners do watch it tonight, that's what you'll see. The pace of the game is a little slower, but technically there's a lot of very, very good players out there to watch.
Really interesting. We'll keep our eye out for Fran Kirby as well. Good to talk to you. That's Jon Horton, Reading Ladies General Manager.